Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talk. Today, we got a very special episode. It's a Yankees World Series preview. The Yankees on Saturday night punched their ticket to the World Series, their first World Series appearance since 2009. Giancarlo Stanton won ALCS MVP. Juan Soto with the hit, with the swing of his life. It was just an amazing moment. I was losing my mind,
Yes, sir.
screaming at the TV, and how poetic it was for Juan Soto to hit the go-ahead home run, but not only that, catch the final out to punch the Yankees ticket to the World Series. And then on Sunday night, the Dodgers beat the Mets in 6 games, and the Dodgers are heading to the World Series, and it's a Yankees Dodgers World Series. The battle of the two coasts, the East Coast versus the West Coast, the battle of two of the biggest cities in the United States. First time these two teams have faced off since 1981. They faced off in 77 and 78, with the Yankees winning those two. Yankees were on the losing end of 1981, but here in 2024, the Yankees, they're looking to win it. And I'm feeling confident with the Yanks, Christian. I'm very, very excited. I'm very amped up. And yeah, first Yankees World Series since 2009. I was 4.5 years old. You were 3.5. And now the Yankees are in the World Series. I'm 19 years old now. And yeah, it's about to go down. So very, very excited.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, we haven't done this in a while. We kind of took a little bit of a break, but yeah, when something happens that hasn't happened in 15 years, stuff changes, and this is kind of surreal. I mean, this is like the first time the Yankees are in it since I was able to watch games and really into it. And, it felt like there were some years where it felt like we had it. In 2019, I really thought it was it. 2022, the Astros scared me, and then ultimately, yeah, they just crushed them. But finally, I think the year where the Yankees had to make the World Series, I think it's the year where you could say this was World Series or bust. Uh, they're in it, and now it's the two best teams in baseball facing off. Uh, I'll say this, Ryan: Dodgers are a much better team than the Royals and the Guardians. Um,
Absolutely.
Royals kind of just snuck in there. Guardians are a solid team, but they rely heavily on their bullpen, and they're the best closer in baseball. Absolutely blew it. So they kind of fell apart there, and obviously their offense isn't that strong. Dodgers don't have a lot of weak points. They are a
Mm-mm.
very, very strong team. Uh, their lineup is very deep. You could argue it's deeper than the Yankees. They have superstars in there. Um, their bullpen strong. Their rotation is strong. However, one thing I like about this, Ryan, Dodgers have one lefty on in their entire pitching staff. I look at the left. Look for Juan Soto. Look for Austin Wells. They can get
Jazz.
hot, and then you can't mix and match. Yet Jazz is another guy who, look, if we were, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if we were to pick like players for the series, I know he hasn't been great in the postseason. I think he's going to step up. So I'd say look for the lefties to get hot. That really might be the only weak point, I guess you could say, of the Dodgers team.
Yeah, no, certainly. The Dodgers, look, I mean, they're a very good squad. They got the superstars. They got Otani, they got Freeman, they got Mookie Betts, they got Yamamoto. They are a star-studded team. They got a lot of stars, but the Yankees have a ton of stars as well. We got four Hall of Famers on our team, and Stanton, Judge, Cole, and Soto. We got the firepower as well. I think, when you look at it from you know, um, a world view, a nationwide view, Major League Baseball is ecstatic about this matchup. I mean, they are going to be able
Yeah.
to market, the crap out of this. It's going to be exciting, but these two teams, they did play each other this year at the stadium. It was the beginning of June. The Dodgers took the series at Yankee Stadium, but Juan Soto did not play in those 3 games. He was hurt. He was dealing with an injury. And I remember Trent Grisham hit that big home run. The Yankees were able to salvage a game, but Juan Soto did not play. So that's going to be interesting to see how the Dodgers go about attacking Juan Soto. I think one important thing though for this series that the is going to need to happen for the Yankees ultimately is I think they really got to capitalize on the opportunities they have. They've been great. They've been phenomenal. One thing I will say about this Yankee team is they've been extremely clutch. When the
Yep.
push comes to shove and they need to get that big hit, I mean, they're going to go out and do it. We saw it on Friday night as well, right? The Yankees had a 6-2 lead. The Guardians come back. It's 6-6. And then at the top of the ninth, the Yankees go out there and get the job done. And same thing happened on Saturday. Tie ball game. Yankees need to push through and get that big hit. Juan Soto hits that home run. We've seen so many clutch homers, by Stanton as well. He's been phenomenal. But I'm talking about the early situations, the early innings. The Yankees have had some opportunities. They've gotten men on base and they've come through, a lot. But there's some times where you're like, they could have had a little bit more there. They could a hit there to really bust it open would be huge. I think if the Yankees could get that done and, cash in as much as they can, that'd be a great thing. Obviously, it's baseball. They want to cash in, every time they get the opportunity. But I think if the Yankees could just do a little bit of a better job at that, they will put themselves in an extremely good position. Because one thing we've seen throughout the whole postseason is them getting runners on base. They don't really get like teams are not going out there and getting 1, 2, 3 innings against them. Players are, hitting the ball. They're getting on base. We've seen Torres set the tone at the leadoff spot. The Yankees are doing their job. They could come through a little bit more in those opportunities. They are going to put a lot of pressure on the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are they could ultimately struggle, trying to match the Yankees there. And then the other thing I would say that'd be big for the Yankees is if they could get one more guy in that lineup going. We've seen Judge. He had that big home run. If we could get Judge to be, on fire and peak of his game, that would be really beneficial to the Yankees. But Austin Wells and Jazz haven't totally gotten it going as well. But like you say, with the Dodgers only having one lefty on their pitching staff, presents a great opportunity for those two guys, to try to, get it done and heat up. And if the Yankees could get one more guy to heat up, especially the bottom of the order, it is going to play really, really well for them.
Yeah. You mentioned Judge. Also, Judge is on 10 career games versus the Dodgers. He has a 1.5 OPS. Only team he's better against is the San Francisco Giants. So he should be a factor. Anthony Rizzo should also be a factor. Hopefully, he's playing every game. I know me and Ryan were both a little upset when I believe it was Birdie starting at first base against the Guardians, right? That one game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Birdie. So ideally, Rizzo should be starting every game. And also, another thing, I know a lot of pressure is on the Yankees considering they haven't won or even made the World Series since 2009. But I mean, look at the Dodgers. I get they won in 2020, but half the people say it's fraudulent. Personally, I think a World Series is a World Series, but uh,
Yeah.
before that, I think the last time they won was in the 80s. So,
Yeah.
it's two teams that are historically very good and constantly in it, but as of the past decade or two, really haven't done that much. So, I mean, this is like kind of the dream matchup. I actually think either you or me, I thought called Yankees Dodgers this year in the World Series, but
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you go back in our videos. But I mean, this is kind of prime time, and also last time, or this is the first time since 1956 that the home run leaders in both leagues will meet in the World Series, that being Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, Christian, I was looking at it today, and I mean, look, you're going to be able to pull so many storylines from Yankees Dodgers. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. It's a ultimate dream World Series. It's a power couple, honestly, at the end of the day. But you're looking at some of these storylines. Giancarlo Stanton, Christian, grew up. I think he grew up a Dodger fan. He grew up going to games at Dodger Stadium. Garrett Cole grew up a big Yankee fan, but grew up on the West Coast, right? I think he was only like a few miles away from Angel Stadium in Anaheim. So, Stan and Cole from California, Judge grew up in the Bay Area, grew up a San Francisco
Yep.
Giants fan, and now he's playing, his childhood's team, biggest rival in the World Series. There's so many storylines. You got Aaron Judge, the captain of the New York Yankees, trying to add on to his legacy, by winning a World Series there. You got Otani, who, he pitches, he hits, and he's amazing, right? And he's trying to win a World Series there for, his own legacy. So you got so many different storylines you can pull and choose from, Christian, but I don't think anyone is stopping this guy. I mean, knock on wood, Giancarlo Stanton has
Yeah.
been amazing. I mean, this guy is playing baseball on a whole new level. He's getting nicknamed the new Mr. October, and his stats are there to back it up. I mean, this guy is clutch as anything I've ever seen before. I mean, you got to put him in the same class, as a Michael Jordan. Like he's popping off in the postseason. And Christian, in 25 career games at Dodger Stadium, Stanton is batting 309 with 9 doubles, 10 home runs, 26 RBIs, and a 723 slugging percentage. He also has a 1.086 OPS. It's second among stadiums he's played at least 15 games at. It's only behind Coors Field. So he hits at Dodger Stadium. So, and like you said, Judge has really good numbers against the Dodgers as well. I expect Stanton to, give it every single thing he has. I mean, you could tell how bad Stanton wants this World Series. I mean, I think the whole Yankee team does as a whole, but I mean, especially Stanton. I mean, this guy, I mean, there's no quit. Like, he is literally doing every single thing he can to, try to put the Yankees on top. It's really, really exciting stuff. And I think, his success is going to continue here in the World Series.
Yeah. If I'm the Dodgers, I would not pitch to them.
You got to pitch to
I don't
someone. You got to
get
pitch to someone. We got Judge, Soto, and Stan. And
pitch
we got
pitch to
Rizzo down there.
pitch to Judge and Soto over this guy. Pitch to anyone over him. I don't know what the Guardians were doing in Game 5. I mean, that was insane. You have a base open. It's a 3-2 count. And you throw him a hanging slider. Um, I don't think the Dodgers are going to be that stupid. I think they're going to be very careful around Big J because he's a postseason monster, clutch. I'll tell you, Ryan. Though one thing I don't want to say scared about, but I guess concerned is the bullpen. And after those last, I guess, few games against the Guardians, I was getting a little scared that if we continue to lose, that it could kind of spiral because in those last few games, Holmes blew one, Weaver blew one, Leiter. I know he came through at one point, but he had a bad outing. Jay Cousins, it was kind of like it felt like the wheels were slipping a little bit, and of course the Yankees offense saved them. They were phenomenal, but we saw in the first, I guess, 6 postseason games, it was kind of just like clockwork, right? I mean, they'd get the lead, the starter would go 5-6 innings, and then we just handed over the bullpen, and it was just easy peasy. You're not going to be able to just rock around the Dodgers like they did with Emmanuel Clase. You're going to have to win those one-run games, and I think they're going to need to clean it up a little bit in the bullpen because I just think it got a little bit sloppy, and thank God the Yankees offense bailed them out, but I think they're going to need better pitching performances. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think also, um, you know, Cleveland's bullpen was getting obliterated too. I think it's the familiarity of, seeing the same reliever, the next day and the next day and the next day. Series went 5 games, but I think you were seeing it on both sides. And in games 1 and 2, and I know obviously game 3 kind of a little faulty there, but games 1 and 2, the Yankees bullpen was getting the job done. You mentioned the thing about the 1-run games. That's something the Yankees have done all postseason. They haven't really blown a team out. I mean,
Yeah.
sort of game two, ALCS, they won the game, what, 6-3? But they've been playing in close games. And I remember, some people in the media were saying, hey, it'd be nice to see the Yankees, kind of break out and get a 9-run win or blow a team out. But the Yankees have been playing in those close 1-run games. We haven't had an opportunity where we see the Yankees, throw out, for example, Stroman got activated this series, didn't pitch, but, the Yankees weren't up 5-6 runs in the sixth inning and they said, here's Stroman, finish the game. We weren't able to see that. So the Yankees have that experience. They've been playing in the close games all postseason. I think that's going to play to their advantage, being in those spots.
Well,
Um,
I mean, the opposite of that is the Dodgers did not have a single close game against the Mets. They
Other than
won
once they
they
lost,
won
yeah.
10-5. They lost
Yeah.
12-6, won 10-2, won 8-0, won 7-3. I mean, nothing was close.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
their bats are really hot, but you could also make the argument against them and say, well, wait till it's crunch time and you're going back and forth. So I don't know.
I mean, the two teams are in the World Series, but I would say, the Mets were hot, but the Mets don't have the star power that the Yankees have. So, I think San Diego, they went what, 5 games with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
They had more, star power, I'd say, than the Mets had. And that went 5 games. This is obviously 7 game series, but I think these two teams match up well. I mean, you could go star for star. You go Judge, Otani, you go Mookie Betts, Soto, you go Freeman, like they match up star for star. Um, right? You got the two aces, but I think it's going to come down to some of the sneaky guys. I think it's going to come down to guys in the bottom of the order. Like Alex Verdugo grew up in the Dodgers organization, was traded to the Red Sox in the Mookie Betts deal. Like, what if Verdugo gets going in the bottom of the order? Torres has been amazing. Very, I think a lot of people are starting to talk about him, and maybe we get to this a little later on, but people are saying, "Hey, let's extend Gleyber Torres. Let's extend him." People are starting to say that because his postseason's been phenomenal, and the Yankees have, go to the World Series with him. They have, and they win the World Series. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that conversation is starting to creep in.
that
But I think
conversation needs to die. But let's finish the season.
wow, Christian is not a fan.
Well, I mean, you can't forget about the regular season. I mean, everyone wanted this guy just basically like DFA'd and off the team. If you remember, at the trade deadline, I was pro keeping Gleyber Torres. I thought they would get no value for him and be a waste. And he could also, I mean, he's hit in the postseason before. I thought he could be helpful, but it doesn't mean we necessarily want him for the next 5 years because, as we know, his highs are high, but his lows are really, really bad. I don't know. And Jazz, I think, is going to be a great fit next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know. I guess that's a conversation,
Off-season conversation.
off-season conversation. But regardless of how you feel on it, the stats don't lie, and Gleyber Torres has been, flat out exceptional this postseason. I don't, I think the Yankees, you know, I don't know if they don't get here without him, but I mean, he's certainly made things really quick. I definitely think they would certainly lose more games than they did in the postseason without him. And they may not even be here without him because he's just been that fantastic. I mean, especially in the first inning. I mean, I feel like every first inning he gets a fucking base hit. It's amazing. I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. So, regardless of how you feel on it, he's been fantastic. But like we said, that's a conversation for the off season. But I think the series, I mean, it's going to be I'm just so excited. But let's talk into, some of the starters, the pitching. We talked about the lineup. We talked about the pitching a little bit, tied in the bullpen there. But Christian, Garrett Cole is going to be getting the ball for the New York Yankees. Game one at 8:08 p.m. Eastern time because the world
Yes.
operates on Eastern time, not West Coast time. And 8:08 Eastern time. Garrett Cole is going to be toeing the slab in Dodger Stadium to pitch Game 1 of the World Series in Los Angeles, California. Wow, chills, chills.
Yeah. My biggest thing, Ryan, I have one more really ask for the series. Either way, it's going to be close. It's going to be great, but they cannot fuck up the base running again.
Yes.
If they do that, they will lose instantly, and it will drive everyone crazy. It can't happen. The Guardians are not that great of a team. Same with the Royals. They got away with it. They bailed themselves out. If they're messing up, it's not gonna be close. Dodgers will take advantage. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think everyone can agree that the Dodgers are in a whole different league than the Guardians and the Royals. But, the Yankees are in a whole different league than the Guardians and the Royals, too, with that being said. But, I mean, they're two really good teams going at it. But I think, the Yankees are going to have to, step up their game a bit. But I would say the same for the Dodgers as well. I mean, this is the World Series. You got to win 4 more games here. I think, the adrenaline, I wouldn't say I mean, I assume the focus level would go up, but, it could be the same. You're still chasing the same thing. I think both teams are going to have to play, better than they did. And, there's some things in the series that the Yankees could ultimately improve on from the ALDS and the ALCS. But if they could get that done, I think they put themselves in a really good spot.
Yeah, I agree. Um, it all starts with game one. Win game one. You have your ace on the mound, and go from there. Split the series at Dodger Stadium. Go home and either sweep or win 2 out of 3. And then we're 1 win away. Just get it done. And the Yankees finally have 28.
Or you go up 2-0 and just, win 2 more at home and sweep them.
That's not exciting. That's not close.
I don't care. I'm a fan. Yankee fan. I hope they.
No,
I
if
hope they
we went
win.
up 2-0, then that would be amazing. But Dodgers are not the Guardians. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly will see what happens. Yankees, Dodgers doesn't get better than that. I got the Yanks in 4. What about you? I got the Yanks in 4. Maybe I'll throw maybe 5 or 6, but I'm taking the Yanks in 4.
Yankees in 7 for me.
Yankees in 7.
Yeah. And game
Oh,
seven.
that's
And game 7 is just going to be the most stressful heart attack game of all time. But I think they'll come out on top.
yeah, yeah. I wonder how many of you are going to be going to the game. Take out a
It's going to
loan.
be pretty rich, but yeah.
Take out a loan. Some of you might be selling your car, house to go to the game. Cheapest ticket I think at Yankee Stadium for Game 1 was over $1,200, and you don't even get a seat. It's standing room
Yep.
only.
Yep.
But yeah, there's an MLB posted a thing today, and it was like in
I saw
1950.
that. The
Yeah,
dollar thing.
yeah, it's 1,000 times more.
Yeah. Inflation.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, Yanks in 4. Let's go win the World Series. Get 28 and call it a day. Let's go Yanks, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, Yankees.